just weeks before we did this, look what they were doing here at the Port of Houston. A photo op. They're probably regretting it tonight. That guy? Well, he's got a pretty infamous dad. His name, Muammar Gadhafi. He's pretty infamous in his own right. Khamis Gadhafi was wearing a suit and tie that day in late January, but he wears another hat back home in Libya. This one. He's the commander of a brutal brigade named after him. And he's accused of hiring mercenaries to help massacre civilians in Mizrati last month. So why was this Special Forces commander allowed into one of Houston's most sensitive sites for possible terrorism? Turns out the Port of Houston was hitting up Gadhafi's son for some foreign business, trying to cut a consulting deal to do work at Libyan ports. And you paid for all the photos, the catered lunch. The day included a virtual tour of port facilities, from the governmental structure to the security, even a trip to inspect our cargo terminal. Tonight, the port refused to give us any official to talk to us on camera about the Libyan visit. But in a statement told us, in recent years, the U.S. government has eased diplomatic relations with Libya. Port Authority representatives have traveled to Libyan ports, and the Port Authority entered into informal agreements to encourage future trade with the region. Hindsight may be 20/20, but with worries now that Libya might retaliate with a campaign of terror for what the U.S. and its allies are doing to that country, giving Gadhafi's brutal son details about one of our nation's largest ports, well, it could be a problem.
Wayne Dosafino joins me now from Houston. And Wayne, thanks for being here. How'd you get onto this story?
Actually, we've been doing an investigation of spending at the Port of Houston, and along the way got tips that they were very worried that we would find out about this Libyan connection.
So you had a good source inside there.
We have a couple of sources in here, and once we got the documents and the photos, we've now established that the Port of Houston, this one trip with the son was just part of a 2-year courtship that's been going on between AECOM, that big engineering firm located based in L.A., and the Port of Houston, and also our Houston airport system. We found documents, Brian, showing that not only have the Libyans been given tours of sensitive security areas here at the port in the heart of the petrochemical complex, but also security tours of our airport, even told that our runways can hold F-16s.
Wayne, you are legendary in Houston, and when the Port Authority knows you're calling, they take your calls. They must not be very happy, though, for you to dig out this information again and again, not only with the Gadhafi son, but also your ongoing probe of what's happening there.
I think the Gadhafi son thing is embarrassment, but I think the stories that in many cases have still not even been aired yet, Brian. We, in the next couple of weeks, are going to be doing a lot of stories about the Port of Houston. They know some of what's coming, but not all of it.
And Wayne, our viewers are interested in knowing just how do you do it? How do you crack something like a big government agency with lots of money but has the ability to keep things secret?
You ask for records, you hope you have sources inside that help you analyze the records, and you hope those sources also help you find out when they're not giving you all they should. It's a paper trail, Brian. You know it very well what a paper trail is.
Absolutely, and you have the ability to take that, I've seen it again and again, and make it compelling television, which is part of the craft, really.
I've been in Houston on Channel 13 for 26 years. We specialize in public corruption and taxpayer waste. When we show up, I think most folks know it's probably not good news.
As always, Wayne, terrific work. Thanks very much for being here. I know you'll be staying on the story, and so will we. Follow us on abcnews.com. Just click on the blotter. And you can get the latest updates on our breaking investigations by following me and the ABC News investigative team on Facebook and Twitter.